Namaste. Hello, everyone. I I feel I have been feeling for some time now that I've been wanting to make a video where I talk about this, which is like the I think the title says, you know, how to come out of depression. What are some ways that you can come out of depression? Now, there are obviously many ways and different ways that work for different people. This is by no means like a prescription and not the full extent of everything that you could possibly try to come out of depression. And there are many different types of depression. And I am not a medical expert. I'm not a therapist or a psychiatrist or you know but I in my own life have struggled with depression and have seen changes in my own mental health. And I've been I you know at a younger age, sort of like in my mid-teens, I had a sort of broad health upheaval, and have since then been struggling with both my in different ways and to different capacities with my physical and mental health. And I've along the way picked up um, some things that may not really kind of shock you. They're not like maybe groundbreaking, but just I wanted to share, and I wanted to say from a personal point of view, and from having tried and tested and being that person, what are some of the things that I see help? Because I see a lot of people, more and more, in fact, struggling, and I mean, I'm just looking for ways to help, and this is an easy one. So, okay, number one thing that I wanted to share, which is, so number one thing that I wanted to share, which is that movement, movement as a principle, and to keep moving, but not senselessly. So in the world of, like, for example, Ayurveda, they have these different ways that they describe your body as a composition of the world's elements. And one of the elements that they talk about is the earth element, which is relates to kind of a solidity and a consistency, and people who have a lot of that, which is called the kapha thing, tend the kapha element, they tend not to like change. And I was once described that way. These elements can be changed in the ratios and stuff, and you don't have to understand all of this Ayurveda stuff. But the point being is that some people resist change, and they are kind of just kind of geared that way, conditioned that way. They kind of early on like to be that way. And I just think that um, life is change, and things change all the time. And if you resist the change, or you fight it, if you don't move with it, then there you create tension there, and that creates struggle. And that can sometimes, trying to hold on too tightly to something that is has a nature of change, will keep you stuck and could lead to depression. So moving, and so okay, so what are the things that I think you could do? Move your body to whatever extent that you can. And this is one thing, and I've been all types of levels of fitness and weight and all kinds of things. And from what I've seen, even a little bit of movement, at any age, makes a difference, because it allows for space for things to change, in your body and in your mind. And even if you don't feel it right away, if you push yourself to do a little bit of it. And I know motivation may be really hard. So trust me, I mean, I'm speaking as somebody who's been there, and but I think just from whatever you can achieve, if you can, Try and find ways to make it fun. Get a Wii. I was doing that once upon a time, using the Wii to move in my living room. So movement, it would be the first one that I think would be a good thing to practice in the best way that you can. The second thing, in my top 5 things of ways to get out of depression, is to get help. It's pretty simple, pretty clear, pretty straightforward, very powerful. Ask for help. Ask your friends, ask your family. If you don't trust them, get a professional. There are lots of these online things now that are very not intrusive. Some of them are actually really good. I use an online therapeutic service myself to help with my own kind of mental health journey. And I highly recommend it. Just even if you're doing well, actually, it was only after I started doing quite well that I started to think, you know what, this is the thing that's gonna really help me to get more consistent with my feelings about myself, and make them more stable. And is by going into getting someone, in my case a professional, to help me go deep and resolve a lot of loose ends that I might have, and try and find a very stable and healthy and positive outlook on myself and on life. And I think that anybody can do this, and sometimes it's a friend in your life that's doing this for you. But if you're scared, you think that someone's going to shame you, or you're feeling like you're going to get in trouble, which I had that feeling of, I was going to get in trouble for just sharing that I need help. That's, from what I've seen from myself and with other people, that never happens. I'm not saying that it can't, but I've never seen it happen. And it always pays off to just ask for help. So yeah, that's number 2. The third thing that I would like to say is, again, simple, because I think simple is best. And it's a Bob Dylan saying that says, keep on keeping on. And I would add to that, keep on keeping on, and realize that everything is temporary. So, which is part of the, if you just keep persevering, if you keep going, and it's amazing, every human being's spirit is more powerful and more tenacious and resistant, and just greater than any kind of physical, human earthly issue. And if you keep going, eventually things that they just disappear, because that is the nature of life. That is nature's way, is that things are just temporary. Nothing is there to last, even your depression. And even if you can't get over it, you can't overcome it, you can't overpower it, if you just keep going, it will eventually on its own start to dissipate, because nothing in this life, no energy you can summon and fathom and hold in your body is permanent. So before you kind of think of some really drastic actions, if you're totally depressed and you're in that profound state of long just sadness, and you feel numb, you think it's never going to change, and you think it will change, it just will. It's actually factual. And to me, that was actually reassuring to even at least understand that intellectually, in my very low moments, to say, if I just keep going, even if I don't have the strength, life is just designed in a way that at least something in here will change in this equation automatically. So you keep on keeping on, because everything is temporary, including your depression. Then the next one that I would like to talk about is just balance, and things you can do to change your balance, change your chemical balance. And I don't mean that by doing something drastic. Eating the right foods, it has a relationship with chemical balance, and what the right foods are for each person is very subjective and contextual. Which is why you'll see nutritionists are never able to say something very confidently and solidly for the whole human race, because it's all super subjective and contextual, and within the related to the other things you're doing in your lives. But trying to find chemical balance, and that could mean that in some cases that it's a prescription thing, that if it's done given to you by a doctor, that can be right for you for some time. It could be a natural thing. It could be there's so many different things, but just finding balance up here, because sometimes a lot of it is just a chemical imbalance. In some people's cases, it's purely that, it's like you haven't done anything, you haven't really experienced something that caused it, and you're like wondering how did this, and it's just suddenly. A lot of people suffer from deep depression. That's just a chemical imbalance in their brain, and modern life makes that harder to balance with technology, with pressures, with the pace of life, with the disconnection from just like our roots and nature. It's just tough to feel very grounded and balanced, and a lot of these things like being in nature, feeling the soil, exercise, the right foods, the right herbs, the right natural ancient medicines that they've invented, or create, that our ancestors had found. All of that helps to create balance chemically, and then that creates a further balance in our mental state, and then that balance helps you just go out and live your life, and feel like you can take on the day. A big part of that one is also sleep. Sleep for balance is key. So yeah, balance. The last and final fifth thing that I want to say, which is in my top 5 things to come out of depression, and again there are many more, and even I have other things, but I just wanted to try and to put this out there and help and encourage people to keep going, and maybe something in here clicks with you that just inspires you to try something that helps you, like it's helped me. And the fifth thing is, I would say, to not believe your thoughts, and to know that there is no power in thoughts, because a lot of what is happening with depression is that your thoughts, anyone's thoughts, not just yours, let's take my case, my thoughts are creating a feeling and an experience inside me, and this goes on over and over and over and over again, and it's happening at a subconscious level and a conscious level, and that's fine. It happens. Humans have thoughts, but like you can realize that actually you don't, that there's no power in them. That you might be thinking, oh, I want pizza. Oh, I gotta go to the garden. Oh, I've got to do this work. Oh, I forgot to. And it can be boom boom boom. It could be non-sequential, it could be logical, it could be illogical, it could be abstract, it could be true, it could be false. You could be thinking, oh, the sky is yellow. I mean, there's no power in the thought, and your brain will repeatedly tell you certain things as though they are true, because it's part of a story that you've built about yourself, and really the only thing that's giving it that feeling of truth is your belief, and you don't have to believe them. Like, you could be telling yourself, oh, I'm worthless, I'm this, I'm that, and that could be really affecting you. And to just realize that, that thought doesn't have any power, that just because you think that thought of you being worthless doesn't mean that you are. It's not true, it's not a fact, and the thought doesn't make it true either. Even if it may make you feel that way, because thoughts can lead to feelings, but you can't just manufacture reality, thankfully. So I think that's a big change there. And if you can just see that, your thoughts, the thoughts that appear, the thoughts you have about whatever it might be, but thoughts in general, at the essence, they don't have power. You don't have to believe them, and if you don't, it gives you some freedom from your mind, even if temporarily, but you can keep working on it. So yeah, that's my fifth one there. So hopefully this has been helpful, and and there's something in here that someone can take forward and maybe make a slight shift in their life. But I'm speaking from my personal experience. These are just my thoughts, my learnings from being alive and having experiences. So, not an expert. Don't try and say, take my word as though I'm a medical expert or anything, or a therapist, or I'm not certified, but just sharing. So you can feel free to think what you want of my advice, and you can even message me. Let me know if it's helped you or not helped you, and we can go from there. But I wish all of you, everyone out there, the absolute best, and I hope we all live in our just our peace. So yeah, thank you.